headed to work. Of course, I wanted to babble with y'all while I'm on the road. Man, so I was working at this project. When y'all seen me do my last little working on a project, side installation. And I don't know if y'all probably didn't see, but the homeowner, he is on our neck. Like the dude's staring at us every moment of the job. Like it's it ain't like a stare where you like where they just staring at you and asking you questions. I'm cool with that, you know. It's more so of like literally just overseeing, not really asking questions about what we're doing when we're doing it, but it's just staring. It's weird to me. And you know me, I'm a people's person, so I try to create conversation. And if somebody want to watch me, you know, I'm gonna give them something to watch. You know, I'm gonna give them a show. The guy just hang out and he'll go in the house for about 5 minutes maybe, and he'll come right back out. And he's not just coming out on the porch looking. He's literally he'll walk over to where we're at, like, and just stand there. And going back and forth to the truck, he will stand there. He'll go to the front, watch us by the truck, and it's like, I don't know. Anyway, I had a little bit of a situation there yesterday. I was working. We're getting the irrigation system situated, and I'm on the phone, right? Because being that the dude was on my neck, and you know we had a change order with his project as far as his irrigation. I tried to handle business as far as if I came there to do a specific thing, let's not come here and get off track. As far as you know, I came here for sod installation. You mentioned your irrigation system was good at the very beginning, etc. But when I get there to do the install, you start talking about um, the irrigation system need to be checked and all this stuff. You turned it on and it's leaking. Like, I hear you and all, but we here to do this sod install. You know, we'll address that later. As long as your irrigation is already like in the ground, it's been installed, etc. It's repairs, so that's something that can wait later. Don't get me off track. Anywho, he was kind of, I ain't gonna say he was pushy about it, but he kept mentioning it. And I'm like, and I told him straightforward. I was like, I said I don't want to get off the track of what we came here for. I know you mentioned irrigation. I told you I definitely get to it, but I'm trying to make sure I prioritize this getting this sod down because it's a timing with this, and then we'll address the other things. But anywho, while I'm working yesterday, my technician came and he started double checking the irrigation. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to wait for it to be done until the job was done before we did the irrigation. Because of course he's already paid for the side job, etc. It don't matter that he paid. It's the fact that I can't not get involved when it's involved with something that I set out to do as far as the irrigations. So he started looking at the irrigation. My guy's doing his thing, troubleshooting, and we come up, get the price point, etc. And I disclosed it with the customer, but the customer was literally watching every step of the way. And this, to me, it's weird sometimes. Like, bro, what, you don't trust us, or I don't know. But anywho, my weird situation was I was trying to troubleshoot, right? And I'm on the phone talking to my one of my technicians, irrigation specialist, basically. And basically I got a buddy. He got a company. He got an irrigation company. So me and him talk about everything. He was like, and then I was trying to get my price point together. It was to a point where my technician, me and him, right in front of each other, and I can't say certain things because the customer's right there. Even though I shouldn't have to hide anything, it's just like you can't even have a regular conversation with the guy who's right next to you because the customer's literally right on your neck. So it ain't nothing like I was gonna say crazy or nothing like that, but I was telling my technician, yes, I got you out here to check it out and stuff like that, but let's not move forward with just start fixing stuff without getting clarity on pricing and stuff like that, because I don't know if he's prepared to spend $1,000 or more, repairing all these different zones that are having issues. He had basically 2 broken valves and a malfunctioning module within his control box. So that had to be replaced. But it was troubleshooting to even figure out all those issues. That took about an hour and a half to figure out all the details, if each other zones was leaking, etc. We didn't have to replace any type of heads, just PVC valves, etc. But it was a process, and I knew it was going to be a process, and that's why I was like, let me finish what it ain't hard to do a little bit of digging, especially the side. It's going to take a while to take root anyways, so I wish I would have just did it afterward. But anywho, it delayed my process yesterday, which should have been done with the side job, etc. I would have been gone back with the other side and done with the job, but taking a little bit longer than I anticipated. But that customer is on my neck. And anywho, I had to step away from the property. I keep getting to it and keep going the other way. I was talking to the customer. Talking to my buddy on the phone. I'm down the street, right? I'm walking on the sidewalk. I had to walk like 7-8 houses down so I can actually have a conversation. Because sometimes you don't want customers in your conversation of what else you have going on. In reality, I was just trying to make sure we're dialed in on our pricing and stuff like that, based on the repair, and we had to see what components were available if our distributor had the part in stock that we needed to replace on there, after we figured out that what was malfunctioning, etc. So just little stuff like that. I was just talking on the phone. I wasn't at the house, and while I'm walking on the sidewalk, I never walked across the street. It was just walking on the sidewalk. A guy, he was like, "What are you doing?" I look, I'm confused a little bit. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean? I'm taking a walk. I'm on the phone. Can I help you? Like, have I done something wrong? Like, I'm just walking on the sidewalk." And he's like, "What's your company name?" So at this point, I'm like, hold on, this ain't friendly. You ain't trying to inquire about business. You got a problem with me, and you still ain't told me what it is. So he's like, "What's your company name?" I was like, I actually own a landscape company. Well, why? I was like, how can I help you? "You be a good old boy." I was like, I'm from Florida. I almost snapped, but being as this dude is mid-70s, older guy, I try not to jump to Z. I try not to let other people trigger me to be emotional or get angry, etc. And just be the bigger person. But he said that, right? He's like, "You're gonna be a good old boy." Yeah, good old boy. And then his wife walk out, and she's like, "I'll disregard him, blah blah blah, something." So I'm like, I said, "Is there a problem? Like we got a problem or what?" Like he was like, she's like, "Well, you just been going back and forth down the sidewalk, and it's just kind of weird. Mind you, this is a busy walkway, and there's so many people walking down the sidewalk back and forth. So me walking back and forth was not an issue." And of course, with the context of what he said, be a good old boy, etc. Basically, it was he felt some type of way. He's a older guy, maybe grew up during a different time, but he said that. I'm like, what? It's cool. It's cool because I can't let him trigger me, despite the situation. And so she was basically on his type of time. She was like, "Well, you're walking back and forth. Hold on, you just told me disregard him, but then you telling me I'm walking back and forth. Mind you, it's other black people walking down this sidewalk. Is so many different people. So basically, I think he was just trying to. He didn't like me walking by his property or walking across, but it didn't even matter because I'm walking across so many different properties, and it ain't like I'm encroaching on somebody's grass. I'm not loud. I'm not cursing. I'm professional. I'm taking care of my business. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I disregarded it, so I'm a little upset at this point. I go back down to the I figure out what I was gonna do on the phone. Got a solution to the problem. Then I walked back down to the house, and the prospect, the customer. He was like, "Hey, you drumming up some new business down there?" I was like, "Apparently not. Apparently, I shouldn't be walking on the sidewalk. It's a public sidewalk." And they said I'm walking back and forth on the sidewalk too much. I said, you see all these people? I was like, look at this. This is two people here, one person there, and they're on both sides of the street, and everybody keeps walking back for it. It's a busy walkway. But anywho, the dude had a problem with me. I didn't even address. I was like, no, I can't let nothing like that ruffle my feathers. Too early on in the day. I can't let this, get me out of character or nothing like that. So I kept my cool. Got it done. Got what I need to get done for the day. But on top of the customer, I felt like it was a different type of day. I was like, man, the day is something else. But I ain't let that make my day. I still had a good productive day, made it home to my family safe, etc. That's all that really mattered to me. Do what I set out to do, which I didn't completely finish, but I had to go get this right here. It's a 3-zone control module, and I got a new one right here. So I got to go back and just pop this into the box, and because basically this is actually the damaged one. The middle one right here is I believe my zone 4. No, zone 5. Zone 5 is not working, so all of these should be working, but only I believe one is working. So instead of trying to replace one or configure this one box, I figured I'd just bring the little module piece, replace it, problem solved. But just wanted to battle with y'all a little bit. I'm actually got to get to work. I lost a $14,000 estimate today. Wasn't too happy about that. Y'all, this is my diary, in case y'all haven't seen. My work diary, at least. So I lost a $14,000 estimate I set out. It was a lot of work that was involved in it. Primary scope of work was actually shot installation. Then they had about 60 bushes that they needed taken out. Decent sized bushes, maybe 4 feet high, maybe 3 foot wide. Pretty decent sized bush. Very, very decent sized property. They wanted to put a fence up, and they wanted to remove the shrubbery that was between the neighbor's fence, between them and the neighbors. You know how some people have like a shrubbery as a barrier to between their neighbors or whatever, between two properties. Well, that's what they had. They had a bunch of shrub. They wanted to remove that and actually put a fence. And they also had a few. It was like 2 trees that needed to be cut down as well. And then they wanted to remove a bunch of ground cover around. It was roughly probably 1,500 square feet of ground cover, which was jasmine. That's a ground cover, like foliage that they use around like oak trees and stuff. They had it was probably like 2,000 feet of that they needed removed, and it's roughly a feet high. Great amount of work to be done. So I do line item quotes. I sent them a line item quote, which included each spec of the project, as far as the backyard and the sod installation in the front yard, etc. And the wife told me she wanted to me to revise a quote based on I guess I did recommend Zeon Georgia based off of their property conditions. So Zeon Georgia could be the more costly option, but when it comes to sod, it's not going to be a significant difference when it comes to the prep that's required. The prep is the prep. Sod cost is something different. So not to say one price should fit all, because a centipede Bermuda, it's got to be cheaper than a St. Augustine or a zoysia type grass typically. So the price didn't fluctuate that much when I gave a different price comparison based on the St. Augustine grass. It was like, I think maybe $300 difference. But when I lose quotes nowadays, I don't just like to let them go and not have clarity on why I lost it. And this is my type of response. When I lose a quote and it's based on price, I don't feel any type of way. Only because I put my all in all, and I put my best price point that I can put initially. So there's really no, not to say I don't negotiate, but there's no really room for negotiation based off of how I present my estimates. If I'm presenting my estimates as a lined item, that means you can select which features you want that fit your budget. So that excludes me having to, say, oh, well, I can do this cheap. No, no, this is the price. You can do this now and you can do that later. I'll give you that option now. That's fair. You can phase this project, being as a large project. You don't see for it, you don't want to spend this type of money up front. I get it. But it is a large size project, and what's required is required. This is my price point, and I don't justify my price. I just give them, hey, well, hey, this is some options that you can consider. That's my way of doing business. I really try not to devalue the thing that I'm providing, because if I had room to negotiate, I would have did that at the beginning. And then when people feel as if you have negotiating space, they continue to pull at every single thing when it comes to trying to get the price even lower and lower. And I'm in the business for profits. I'm not in the business to not be profitable. So I lost the job. He was transparent with me because I put my best feet forward. Like he said, man, I reached out to many contractors. I couldn't reach too many people, etc. But you came over. You were punctual as far as getting over here. You got you creating an estimate, etc. Like that's that non-billable time that I was telling y'all about in one of my previous videos. Um, Time that you can't get back. You're going out to a property and you're estimating the square footage and timing, etc. And just not just to get ghosted and no feedback or nothing from the customer, it's not ideal. So I did text him. I said, hey, what was the deciding factor? He said, oh, your finished price was a bit much. So when somebody said that, I'm cool with it. I'm cool if I lost it on price, but I'm not cool if I lost it on anything else in reality. Well, not, I ain't gonna say anything else, but I'm not cool with if I lose something if it's not based on price. I expect to lose things on price at some time, but this one bothered me a little bit because, sometimes I feel like pretty much I get a feeling sometimes that I have these properties sold. I'm like, oh, that's yeah, and that's more the reason why I need to just, keep rolling. It's water under the bridge, keep it moving, do more estimates. But this is what brings me back to that consultation piece. Um, like me and Buddy talk about, people have the right to shop around for whatever price points and stuff like that, but you don't have to necessarily give them your time. And this property, I gave some time, so I feel some type of way because I gave a little bit more of my time than I wanted to. Like I created a conceptual design of the landscape. I broke down the estimate. It's very detailed. I communicated with the husband and the wife. Usually, when I meet a husband and wife, that's usually when I feel like my chances of closing is even better because I got both decision makers. Well, decision making is the wife, really. The husband, he's just there. He's on the honey-do list, right? He's just fulfilling what she desires. But I feel like I made a good impression on both of them. And when I feel like that, and I feel like I closed it, you know, and if I don't, I'm cool if I lose it on price, but not anything else, if that makes sense. But I got to keep punching, keep going at it, man. I got a few more to do today, starting within the next, what we got? We got about 4 more days. And starting in April, I have a lead form that I've incorporated on my website that I'm gonna make active, and basically that's when it's going to start requesting consultation fees to actually go out and do like project estimates as far as landscape, as far as sod installation specifically. My competitors, some of my local competitors, they have a lot of people do estimates for free, but then you have um, one large company that does $150 consultation. So when I saw them offering it, I'm like, man, I've been doing this for some time, and this company is new in our area, so I'm glad that they have that consultation fee. So it creates a norm that, hey, we're not just coming out to your property to waste time if you don't have any idea of what you need, etc. So I'm gonna put that back in place. I know that when I do have the consultation fee in place, it does limit it limits the amount of leads that we get because people are, oh, I don't want to pay for an estimate, and if they're so used to, paying not paying anything and calling 4 or 5 contractors, they're gonna continue to do that, and they can still do that. But my ideal client is someone who sees the value of what we deliver. They see that we have or punctual, quality workmanship, and a good customer service experience. And that's my driving factors of, if they can see that and get past the price, more than likely we're going to close. And plus, when they do the consultation, I deduct that fee out of their job costs. So if they decide to move forward after we do the consultation, you didn't lose $100. We take that $100 off of what it would actually cost you to do your project. So it's not lost. It's just, I want people that's serious, not curious. I say this all the time, but I'm gonna get going, y'all, because I got work to do. And hope y'all have a good Thursday. Later.